Hello, Sim here. So this is a way overdue firmware update for the Netduma type video. I'm going to be as brief as possible because I originally wanted to do two pairs of videos together, and I have recorded the other one, and so this one I can now go and do because it's ready to rock and roll. I wanted to release them both together. So yes, it's 1.036. One of the fundamental things they introduced was being able to temporarily ban a server. So here you go, you can see that I've got this thing loaded up, I've got all my servers. Now yes, I'm like a community tester, so you won't see all these yellow circles, but normally you're zoomed into your area, you'll see the biggest, largest circle, that's host, and if it's a deadie, when you click on it and you scroll down, you'll see the temp ban little button there available to you to go and click on, which is great. That's how you know it's a dedicated game server. So you can then ban this. So for those of us who were in Advanced Warfare, it was, really bad for Xbox One and the Ireland dedicated servers. So typically you'd ban that as soon as you've exited that game. You finished that round, you've got your points, cool stuff, and you banned it, and you can, the next round when you search for another lobby, you're not going to be shoved onto that poor, overloaded, dedicated server. So let's move over to congestion control. So here, what they've introduced here is before, when you had this flower pedal as they call it, this would control the upload only. Now they've introduced an upload tab and a download tab, so you can control that, hey, I'm downloading a massive game patch, so if anybody else wants it, they can they can use the internet and still get download, but I want 81% of it, for example. But as soon as I've finished my big game download of 22 gigabytes for Halo 5 or whatever the hell I'm downloading, it's then done, and everybody else can use the share divide equally the internet, and it just gives it where the share access, if I tick it over, that means tough poo poo. My Xbox One is going to grab 81% of the download all the time. Doesn't matter if I'm not using it or not. All the other devices on the network have only got 19% download usage, right? And therefore you can do similar things with the upload. So one of the other things I wanted to point out is that what you might not expect, and if you get weirdness, I'd recommend this, is that you click on reset distribution, and this will then ensure that your devices get equal upload without there being a performance penalty, because as soon as you drag one of these, rightly or wrongly, you no longer get the full internet upload or download speed. When you click on your reset device prioritization, it's like, oh cool, that's all reset that, but if I go to the download tab, it has reset that too. So that's good. So it does it across both, which is goodness. Obviously once you've adjusted these things, you have to click update, so maybe that was a failure by Sim there doing it live. So let's just test that again, because I generally don't use this at all, but I wanted to cover it for completeness. So if I've done that, flip between the tabs, you can see 34% and 58% to my little laptop. If I click reset distribution, that's all good. If I flip to download, it has reset that too. So that is goodness. I wanted to confirm that for a second. Now, one of the other things that's got introduced is hypertraffic. So a lot of people will be going, I don't know really what hypertraffic means. Now the easiest way I can put an analogy for this is, imagine you go into a bank. Typically you're standing in a queue waiting to be served by a cashier. Now with hypertraffic, I'm an Xbox One person, so I've come in and I jump the queue completely and get served straight away. Right, so I don't have to wait, and that's the best way I can do an analogy for the network traffic. Now what you don't want to do is make lots of people be special priority, a king or queen or whatever, gets treated like royalty and jump the queue every time. Because as soon as you start putting more devices into hypertraffic, you are effectively you've just got another queue system, so the benefits of it is not so good. So to add something to a hypertraffic, you add that, so click on my PlayStation 4 for example, and there's a PlayStation, click done, and now I've got my PlayStation in there. But if I'm only gaming on my PlayStation, then I can go and delete my Xbox, right? I want, because my Xbox might be downloading some patches, I want my gaming traffic to be prioritized, and hey presto, you know, everything's hunky-dory and good. So that's the 3 main features that are being introduced. There is another one. So that'd be the 4th feature. And this is what I'm going to be talking about a bit more in depth, because there's a certain thing I want to cover in my next video to do with getting your optimum network setup from a lag perspective. So here we got some built-in ones like COD Superfast, Halo 5 non-gaming. What it allows you to do is you can go to manage profiles and you can click on these and they will tell you what it does. But you can also like save your own geo filter. So there we go, Sims geo filter, and you can see I got some buffer bloat stuff there, and that's a little teaser for my next video. So stay tuned, it's coming out, it's already recorded. So let's keep things simple. If I go back to like host filtering, for example, let's say you guys know that you can block things like this, right? So you can click on something on the map, click it up, give it a percentage, enable it. So here, for example, a COD 4 hacker I've got, and I've got another COD 4 hacker here too. Here, I'm not going to click on this one. This is a friend in America that I've got, so I don't want them to be a host, but I want them to be able to game with the party. So that's the purpose of that. But I digress. So going back to profiles, maybe, for example, I want to save my allow and deny list. So here you go. I can save current settings is what I want. Give it like my allow and deny. I really can't type. Hacker list or whatever, for example. Untick things like I don't want to save my geo filter settings. I have saved it in another profile when it's cool. So it's like saving your geo filter, your distance, your ping assist values. That's all cool stuff, and I would recommend saving that as a various profiles for different games, because some of the other stuff you don't want it to save away. Anti-flood settings in this case I'm not interested. All I'm interested in for this profile is to save away my allow and deny list and click save. Now if you guys ever have like, I have got a saved all settings, I did that. So I've like clicked on something and I've got to save all settings, something around here. And when I come back to load it all, the one thing you definitely want to untick, if I can remember this off the top of my head, is the load host filtering services. Because what would happen if you did a factory reset and you did a loader up, what happens is this area up here that I've just highlighted completely gets itself in a pickle and it doesn't know what to do. But basically it's effectively a bug. Everything, you won't get any of this, there's no devices to select, it completely mucks it up. So be aware of that. So if you do counter that, that's my workaround on that one. So I've skipped to all settings as I want to leave some of the other stuff from my other video. So here we go, this is it, and I effectively untick that one and then click load, and that would load up everything. Now you can also say, oh yeah, actually I want to merge in my allow and deny list. So imagine that you've got a list of hackers, or in your case, or in most people's case, you have a list of clan mates that may be in different parts of the world or friends, and therefore you can share those particular settings and load them up and then go, oh, actually I'll just merge that one into my list so that I bring in other hackers and stuff. So if I untick this, let's do this live. Could be dangerous doing this live. So if I merge my allow and deny list, this should call in other hackers and stuff that I put in the past, and other maybe clan mates and stuff. Let's see. There we go. So you can see what's happened there. Now hopefully these are all hackers when I click on them. Here we go, Modern Warfare 2 hacker, Modern Warfare 2 hacker 3, and another Modern Warfare 2 hacker. So I think you generally I tend to put little other names underneath these, and A, B's and C's, to try and, otherwise all of these circles end up being on top of each other, because I tend to use 1% and 2%. And here, these are likely to be friends, clan friends, and stuff like that I've got at either end of the spectrum. For example, now I won't click on those because I actually put their user IDs in there, so I know who they are. Right, well, I hope this helps. So if you're not already subscribed, go and touch my avatar on the end screen. It's all interactive for mobiles and tablets now, so is those video thumbnails. Because in my next video, I'm going to cover buffer bloat, aka jitter, and how to find your optimum settings. Until next time, this has been Sim.